On to our topic of the week. PT Sri Rejeki Isman Tbk or Sritex Group has officially closed the operation of its textile factories in Central Java on March 1st, 2025, following an unsuccessful appeal against the bankruptcy verdict issued by the Semarang District Court in Central Java. Here's the story.
More than 10,000 people have lost their jobs as a result of the company's closure, which marks the end of Sritex's long journey. Established by M. Lukminto, a traditional trader in Clover Market, Solo in 1966, the company began its activities as a small trading company. The small trading company continued to grow and managed to open a fabric printing factory in 1968 and produced white and colored fabrics. In a span of several decades, the company successfully transformed into a major player in the national and even international textile industry, Bloomberg Technos reported in an article recently. One of the important moments in Sritex's history was in 1984 when the company won a contract to produce military uniforms from countries under NATO. The contract not only brought Sritex's name to the world stage but also became a turning point in its business expansion. Before finally being declared bankrupt, the Surakarta-based Sritex had undergone a temporary suspension of debt payment obligations or PKPU status since 2021. The status followed a lawsuit filed by its creditor TV Prima Karya against Sritex and its three subsidiaries, PT Sinar Pant Da Jaya, PT Bitratex Industry, and PT Primayuda Mandiri Jaya. The PKPU status lasted until January 2022 after a reconciliation proposal was accepted by the court. However, during that period, Sritex still was unable to fulfill its debt payments to a number of its creditors. Its business was still relatively sluggish and its financial condition was getting worse. In 2022, Sritex recorded a capital deficiency of $781.01 million and suffered financial losses of $395.5 million. In 2024, another creditor, PT Indo Barat Rayon, filed a lawsuit against Sritex because it was still unable to fulfill its agreed debt payment obligations. The lawsuit was filed with the Semarang Commercial Court dated Wednesday, August 28, 2024 against Sritex and also the same subsidiaries. From the lawsuit, the Semarang District Court finally declared Sritex bankrupt in October 2024. Sritex's business is now in the hands of a curator. Meanwhile, economic observers have urged the government to pay greater attention to labor-intensive industries that give a major contribution in providing jobs for the country's large labor force. Senior economist at the Center of Reform and Economics, or CORE, Yusuf Rendi Manilet, has called on the government to consolidate the country's labor-intensive industries, considering that apart from PT Sritex, many other textile companies are also experiencing financial difficulties. According to Yusuf, the rising layoffs in labor-intensive industries show that the government has not succeeded in pushing for the industrialization process in the country. He highlights a number of industrial policies that have caused a setback in the domestic textile industry, one of which is the import policy that result in the influx of cheap textile products from China, Yusuf said, as reported by the KBR, or Kantor Berita Radio News outlet.
The recent closure of Indonesian textile giant PT Sritex has become a hot topic of discussions in the public as more than 10,000 people have lost their jobs in one of the country's largest bankruptcy cases in Indonesia. Now we have Bapak Tauhid Ahmad, senior researcher at Institute for Development of Economics and Finance, or in short, INDEF, and we are going to talk about the Sritex collapse and problems faced by the country's ailing textile industry. Hello and welcome, Bapak Tauhid.
Hello, how are you?
Hi, good, Pak Tauhid. Thank you so much for joining us on this topic today. Pak Tauhid, the Indonesian textile giant PT Sritex has finally closed its operation for being unable to pay its debts. In your opinion, is this closure of PT Sritex due to its inability to compete, or do you think it is purely because of mismanagement? Can you care to explain your perspective on this issue?
Yeah, I think both of these causes make Sritex inability to pay their debt. Yeah, first I think because there is a global competition, Sritex face intensive competition like with China, Bangladesh, and Vietnam, which have lower production costs and more efficient supply chain. Yeah, you know that China have market around 30 until 40%. This country dominate in the global textile, and right now they have a lot of material resources that we cannot do with this position. The second one is, I think, because Sritex have problem with the rising production costs like labor, energy, and also raw material that come from the China. So in the 10 years, so this make the Sritex more rising the debt, and then the other one, yeah, depending on exports, I think with the situation that global have external shock with after the pandemic, and also with trade policy, like now with the geopolitical tension, so export is dependent on export have problem with the site. I think this the first one why the competition is the main reason why the Sritex is going down. The second one, I think it's not. I think the second one is about the management. Yeah, yeah. Sritex also have significant debt. Yeah, around 26 trillion rupiah, and which have become unsustainable, and also it's make some financial poor management to make the debt decreasing in 5 years. So this is makes some problem with mismanagement. Also, I think the problem in maybe some innovation how to production process more efficient, like operating costs, maybe supply chain management. Also, Sritex depend on the material from the China. I think that's that sequence between mismanagement also with the competition in global market.
Well, Pak Tauhid, based on your explanation right there, it seems that the situation is very dire and it doesn't seem to get any better at the moment. Now, long before Sritex finally collapsed, there are also many textile producers that had already closed their factories, and more companies are also expected to follow suit. Why is our textile industry so vulnerable and weak in facing all these market uncertainties? And if so, how then do we remain strong in this global uncertainty that is going on at the moment?
Yeah, I think the first causes is by I think because we depends on import of raw material. Yeah, you know, like cotton, synthetic fibers, make our industry so vulnerable with the global price. Yeah, and then the other side is the domination of China and other low cost producer like Bangladesh, Vietnam, and India. Make their textile price more lower rather than the global market. So for us is a lot of energy to compete this raw material and other country competition. Yeah, there is a price wars over there. The second one, yeah, after the global economics slowdown, we have facing we have facing economic downturns like an effect to industry like market of EU, market of United States. So we have a problem over there. So if the global economic slowdown and uncertainty in long term, so it make instability in our textile industry. I think that's two problems. So how we can do with this situation? Yeah, I think yeah, government have to make some facility like finance, yeah, like subsidy, more good of tax, and then maybe how to protect our domestic market with illegal import. So maybe Sritex can make sure that their product can compete with other product in domestic markets. So I think that's one of the way how to make Sritex come back in long term.
Pak Tauhid, you mentioned about China's domination of all their cheap products, and you also mentioned about the illegal imports. Now, the entry of the illegal textile import is often considered to be the main cause of the collapse of the Indonesian textile industry. But this problem has been going on for years now. Why does the government so far cannot solve this issue yet? And like, how can we protect our local market further before the rest of the textile industry keep going down?
I think the first one, yeah, I think we have weak enforcement like in the border. Yeah, Indonesia is archipelago country and wide geography. So how to monitor and secure all the entry point like we with the Malaysia, we with the with a lot of sea border. So I think this we have to enforce, yeah, our border. The second one, maybe yeah, we have lack of resources. How custom and enforcement agency maybe lack of the manpower, technology, and funding need to effective combat this illegal textile, yeah, import. The second one, yeah, because we are the developing country, yeah, high demand of cheap textile also make illegal textile more higher rather than maybe 10 years ago, because market like in Indonesia so sensitive with the price. Yeah, Indonesia consumer with particularly lower income segment are highly price sensitive. So if the illegal come to our country, so the market is increased. Yeah, of course. Yeah, some consumer maybe have problem with awareness. Is it illegal or not? They don't care about this illegal taxes. So I think maybe we have to increase our consumer awareness. This is illegal or this domestic product. I think this one of consequence. Yeah. The third, I think how to increase, yeah, how to protect. Yeah, besides we have to enforce our border. So we have to increase our domestic industry competitiveness, like labor, energy, also raw material costs. We have to decrease, yeah, with the standard of global market. And the second one, yeah, I think we have to more innovate in the textile industry, like adopting advanced technology and also sustainable practice. I think this one make our product more competitive with other country like illegal and also illegal textile in Indonesia. So if you see in the commercial in the internet, so how we compete with them. They have a lower cost and they have a lower product with a lot of innovation. I think this is a reality that we have to face it. So I think the one key is how to increase our domestic industry competitiveness. I think this is one key.
Well, it seems that we have a long way to go, a big space, a big room for improvements that we need to take in order to, again, compete in the global market. Now, Pak Tauhid, you also mentioned just now that the tight competition in the export market is considered to be one of the reasons why we are failing in the textile industries. On the contrary, though, you also mentioned that in the same market conditions, we have our neighboring countries, we have Vietnam as well as Bangladesh. Their textile export continues to increase. What then can we learn from them so we can improve our textile industry, and perhaps what can our government also learn from these other countries to keep our market stronger than ever?
Yeah, I think it's a lot of parameters. One is labor cost and also productivity. Vietnam offer lower labor cost compared to Indonesia for attractive to labor intensive industry. Also, they have workforce plan training, improving productivity, rather than Indonesia. Every year we have rising minimum wage, at least maybe 5% right now, maybe until 6, until 7 in each area, in each district of different. So it makes labor costs more higher rather than before. Yeah, I think it's good for the growth, but sometimes it makes our industry competitiveness not compete with the other country. The second one, I think about the investment, foreign direct investment. I think about Vietnam, have more significant foreign investment from China, South Korea, and also with Taiwan, because this country invite investor with the advanced technology, also with the global supply chain. Maybe because their location is very proper. They near from the China, near from the other support from the Korea and also Taiwan with the Japan. So I think it's this Vietnam advantages with the competition. But how to compete with the Vietnam? I think with this regulatory effective, also we have to solve with our infrastructure gap, also how to manage our productivity and also labor costs. I think it's one of the factor that we have to we can compete with Vietnam. Even I think at least if Vietnam can great investment in maybe 70%, at least we can go with 10 or 15% if the China move their industry to outside their country. I think that's maybe we have to prepare. But the force, the main factor, we have to regulate. A lot of regulation that make our industry more weak rather than
Okay,
before.
Bapak Tauhid Ahmad, thank you so much for all of your thorough explanations right there regarding our textile industry's condition in Indonesia. Thank you so much for our chat, and we'll see you again next time on Economic Outlook. Thank you.
Thank you.